breaking news tonight with reports from the Daily Telegraph and Sydney Morning Herald of an alleged text exchange between Brandon Smith and Victor Radley relating to alleged drug and gambling charges. Journos, what have you heard about this afternoon?
Look, I was sort of surprised as everybody when these two stories broke about 4 o'clock this afternoon, Brace. Brandon Smith is due to appear in Southport Magistrates Court on Thursday. I think both clubs, probably more the Roosters than anyone, was interested, and the NRL, of course, to see what was said at that hearing, even though it's just a mention. But these two stories, just 2 days beforehand, have shifted the focus from Brandon Smith to Victor Radley in many ways, and we have to make it very clear. Victor hasn't been charged. There's no alleged allegation of wrongdoing, but those text messages, those alleged text messages, are pretty damning, and it raises questions for both the NRL and the Roosters about, you know, what's going to happen down the track. Yeah,
it's exactly what you just said. It's shifted the focus because the Brandon Smith stuff's been out for a while. South played him in the last game. South Sydney have decided, you know, they won't make any statements at all about what's going on until the matter's cleared. From a Roosters perspective, as you said, Victor Radley, no proof he's done anything wrong, no claims that he's taken any drugs or bought any drugs, but the text message exchange is what people around the game are talking about. They're talking about the fact that Nick Politis has said previously he has a zero tolerance and he will get rid of anyone at the club who has been found to be involved in drugs.
Gordy?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's strange at this time of year, but the courts will do their thing. I think South Sydney, like Wayne Bennett's an old copper, right? For him to let Brandon Smith play, I'm not saying it's a storm in the teacup, but I think that'll run its course, generally.
All right, let's have a look at the small sample of alleged text messages between the exchange. This is from the Daily Telegraph. Radley, GT up your cousin in Sunny Coast for me, little short ball. Short 8 ball, if you will. Smith, yep, sweet bro. I'll give you the contact when I get it. Next one. Smith, just call him. That's from Goldie number. He's got people in Sunny Coast. He said to call him and he will give you number. And at the end of the exchange, Radley, all good, bro. You sorted us. Good man. Yep, let me know if you need anything. I'll sort it for you.
Well, look, let's not beat around the bush. That's a textbook, a drug deal going down, allegedly. It's, an 8 ball is, on the street is about 3.5 grams of coke, so it's not like it's a tiny amount. But in terms of what the other text messages say and where that leads for Victor Radley and the Roosters, that's the big question. Yeah,
if alleged text exchange is proven in court, what could the fallout be for both Brendan and Victor here, you think?
From an NRL perspective, there's no proof that anyone has taken drugs or had drugs. So the question is, does it bring the game into disrepute? Yes, it does, if it's proven, if anyone admits to anything. From a Roosters point of view, is the bigger issue because it becomes the moral issue. And the moral issue was outlined by Nick Politis earlier in the year, and that is the issue for the Roosters. Because there are no police charges. There's no suggestion the police are going to charge.
Crawls, take it over. These are the quotes here from Nick.
Yeah, well, Nick said earlier in the year, I think it was in the Sunday Telegraph, he came out and said, if somebody's caught doing cocaine or leaning over or snorting something, we're going to get rid of them. Our stance is zero tolerance. We are very strong on it. Trent Robinson is very strong on it. Like, that's a statement. That's a statement about being tough.
Yeah, and as a consequence, from the moment this story broke and the moment the Roosters and Victor Radley were implicated in this investigation involving Brandon Smith, Nick Politis, behind the scenes, was furious. Yeah. Absolutely furious, mostly because of that statement there. I can tell you this, that Victor Radley, this comes from several people within the club, was absolutely devastated when it happened, was very emotional when talking to the club about the allegations. So they're not, I don't think they're trying to sweep it under the carpet whatsoever.
No, I'm not suggesting that. But
as I said, so Nick Politis at the moment, I've tried to contact him. He is actually overseas on business, so it's about 3 a.m. in the morning. I dare say he won't be too pleased when he wakes up in a few hours and
Will
sees
they,
the
will they be
calls and the
caught by
texts.
surprise, or did they know this was coming?
As I said, I haven't spoken to Nick, but others that I've spoken to at the Roosters had some inkling that it was coming. They just didn't know what was in the text messages. I actually read a few out to the person I spoke to tonight.
Has there been a response from either South or the Roosters? Have you guys?
The Roosters have said to me they're not making any comment at all.
And South's the same. They won't make a comment until it's completed. But that's the issue from a game perspective. If the Cops don't push forward with anything against Victor, there's nothing to answer.
Victor hasn't been accused of anything or charged for anything. Do you think Nick pulls the trigger though after his comments?
That's a big question. I got to say he was very. He was certainly contemplating it when this story broke involving Victor Radley a few weeks ago.
Court or a picture. In Nick Politis' statement, he goes, if anybody's caught or if there's a picture.
So when Nick said it, when Nick said it, he was throwing a jab at the Broncos over Ezra Mam and how they handled it, and South with how they handled Latrell Mitchell. And in many respects, his comments have come back to bite him.
Yeah. How do you think? So, no one's made a call here. Do you think you?
I'm not making a call on that at all.
At the moment, you can't break because they're allegations, they're claims, and as we sit here today, Victor Radley is guilty of nothing.
No one's been accused. I have to say that, and it's all alleged. But it does go back to the golf trip of the Roosters players. I think there were 7 of them, right? Do you think that they'll be dragged into this now?
Well, I think they already have, and that's the thing that's infuriated the Roosters. That's infuriated blokes like Chad Townsend and the captain, James Tedesco. And that's what Trent Robinson was alluding to when he did that press conference and he talked about people joining the dots. He wasn't so much, and I was guilty of misreporting this as well. As it was explained to me, he was talking about joining the dots and implicating all those players, which I've got to say is unfair.
Yeah, it is.
Just because there's 7 of them there doesn't mean they're partaking in drug use.
Did the text change anything though? Because Robbo seemed very confident, in the situation when he was quoted and commented about it probably a month or so ago.
Was he just shifting the focus though? Like seriously, like how does these text messages not change anything? Like if you're in charge of the club and you've got a zero tolerance, you've got a zero tolerance.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the text messages that
it's not going to pass the pub test.
No,
exactly.
That's right. And the thing is, it's put the focus right on the most powerful bloke in the club, and that's the chairman, Nick Politis.
You seem to be close to the Roosters at the moment with this. Do you think any other? But that's what I mean by with the other players you brought in. Will they be questioned? Have they been questioned? Is there anything around all that?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm assuming the Roosters would want to get to the bottom, if they haven't already, about what happened on that weekend.
Yeah.
But I think they're like the rest of us, and the NRL are in this too. Andrew Abdo said something similar to both the clubs. Like they can't do anything until the court process runs its race.
You would imagine from a Roosters perspective too, because of the way that they treat drugs at their club. If there are 7 blokes up there on a golf trip, and I don't know how much cocaine that is, I don't know how much it is, how many people it feeds. Who knows? Yeah. But the club would have to get every person in and talk to them, and there has to be an honesty policy.
All right, from the Roosters to the Bunnies, and you said it earlier, Wayne, he has backed Brandon Smith to the club, and so have South. They've supported him. He's come in. Now, I just mentioned, does the text messages change the Roosters' approach, or what happens there? Does the text messages now change where Brandon stands with Wayne and South?
I think Wayne has been very clear publicly on what he thinks of this, and what they've known previously has basically been said here that, to the man in the street, maybe not to the police, because this is seen as drug trafficking, or what is it?
Yeah.
Drug supply. But to the bloke in the street, it's like it's passing on a phone number.
He's helping out a mate.
Is it not? Is that how you see it? Because that's certainly how I see it.
That's exactly how you would interpret it. He's helping out a mate.
Yeah. Yeah, so that I don't think South will change their stance in that respect. And, the other allegation against Brandon is telling a mate that have a go at me for scoring first try. But again, in that respect, there wasn't any team strategy to help him get the first try.
He shouldn't be charged for that. Seriously.
That's
a player backing himself.